Hello everybody, welcome back to my daily journal series. In this episode we got two recordings actually. This is the first of them. Don't remember everything that happened from this. Now this was actually yesterday's full session. So we got this session going through. First I collected all the berries because, you know, it's pretty cool to see. Now when I went to bed on that night, I think I was at either Master 7. So yeah, as you can see, they're Master 7 at this, but I don't know if that's from Sneaky Snacking or if it's from where I was originally. So, Master 7 Old Gold Power Plant. A lot of cool stuff when you're looking that high. Let's see. What do I have a chance of seeing while I take care of my daily tasks? Oh. According to the Ranonix calculator, could have seen a 3-star Drifloon, or Drifblim. Ugh! Man, I always swap those guys. 2-star Aggron. Pretty neat. 4-star Luxray. Some Fables. But yeah. As you can see here, I made my typical tea. You'll actually see the weaker... how my meals are pretty weak comparative to what a lot of players make. But hey, I'm cranking out those berries, so I don't care. Only 88 ingredients, and it's on a much weaker meal. It's only level 56, and it's not even the highest value meal to begin with, but I got a crit. I don't even remember getting a crit, but yeah, my crit was 40k. I've seen people who have plenty stronger meals without it being a crit, so... But the real strength of the Neuroli's tea is that I'm making it with berry specialists, which I will always take, because really I'm getting most of the value from the berries. The tea is just an add-on. So, with that, I was able to almost get to Master 8. Was able to after Snorlax ate a few more berries, though, because he had 81 stockpiled up. And I decided to just swap over to the night team, or the day team, because it was on the night team for XP grinding, as is what is currently on my team right now, because as of right now, my phone actually thinks I'm sleeping. Honk, shoo, me. And there we go. Taking a look at what that... Oh, I know it was nap session yesterday. This wasn't my main session. My main session is coming up later. Okay. So this is my nap session yesterday. Got dozing, which I don't know how that happened, because it was... My phone was just sitting on the floor. I thought for sure it'd be slumbering, because that's usually how it goes. For 24%, getting 6 styles, or 6 Pokemon, is awesome. With this much drowsy power, I would have easily gotten 8 at green grass, but Old Gold Power Plant is cool, so. And I actually got 7 because good camp ticket adds 1 extra. One of them was a Grubbin, 2 of them were Grubbins. I actually got the last Grubbin style that I didn't currently have. Now I remember the sleep session. I like the 3-star Grubbin style. I think that the way it's tunneling into the ground, similar to the tunneling Onyx or the tunneling, there are other Pokemon that are tunneling as their 3-star. I think that's pretty cool. Having a little mound beneath them, as if they're burrowing in. The 3-star styles are definitely the coolest ones in my mind. A Top Belly is cute, and especially the first time you see a Top Belly sleep, it's kind of like, oh, it's so cute, it's on top of Snorlax's belly. Hungry Grubbin? Hungry Grubbin 2. I really struggled to figure out what I wanted to do with the biscuits. So I fed it a Pokebiscuit. And then I was like, well, do I want to gamble? Or do I want to guarantee catch? But if I feed it 1 biscuit, then I might waste the hungry on the other. So, I bought a few more Pokebiscuits, because I still had some in the premium exchange that were the cheaper ones. Decided by the last one, just because I'm eventually going to use it. I'm using so many biscuits for this event. But I really contemplated here what to do. It's like, guaranteed catch and guaranteed not waste the biscuit? Or risk it? I really didn't know what to do. I just sat here for a while, but... Now, in this video, in this episode, I do kind of want to go over my thoughts on Drifblim. as a whole. I actually caught a really good Drifloon, if you didn't see that. Now, here's where I made a rash decision. It was like, no, maybe not. I do want to go over my... Oh, I gambled. I thought I actually Great Biscuited it. I do not remember gambling. And it crit. That's right. I was very much so rewarded with the gamble. So. Then I fed the second hungry grubbin. But yeah. As far as Drifloon goes, I feel like I've got some of the harshest views of a lot of people that I've seen. After seeing the math and numbers behind it, I just... I don't think that it's necessarily worth it in any way to even be, like, catching the Drifloon. I actually like it less than other Pokemon, than most other skill specialists of this type in the game. It mathematically works out that, like, based off current estimates, it just doesn't produce as much, and you have to give it so much more commitment. Now, I still have to spend my premium biscuit. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth between conversations here. But decided to catch a Pikachu. I used a Great Biscuit on it, as you'll see here in a moment, just because I wanted to catch it. I'm always catching more Pikachus. I can always use more Pikachu candy, because I have so many to invest in. I don't have a problem with trading the biscuits too much. And on top of that, if I happen to catch another one with Berry Fighting S help bonus, I will not complain. And especially if I get closer to that level 40 friendship level, then it might even get closer to where I can actually kind of reliably get that. 1 in 49, that's not really reliable, but... Actually, no, it's not 1 in 49. It's actually like 1 in 20-something. I think it's 1 in 21, maybe. Someone can double-check the math on that for me, but... Oh, I didn't look at the Dream Shards and Research XP. Darn. Well, first Grubbin. Rash Nature. I believe that is Ingredient Finding up, if I'm correct. Main skill chance down. Yeah, but it's really the only thing it's got going for it. It's got the ABC list, which... It's like one of the worst lists for Grubbins. You really don't want to be splitting like that. Second Grubbin. Docile. Neutral nature. Also ABC list. And nothing really until level 50, so unfortunately not really good either. And then Pikachu. Serious nature. Also neutral. And no Berry Finance, no help bonus. Not good. Maybe okay if you're new. Oh, however, Research XP bonus and Dream Shard bonus, I did star it because it could be a sleeper one day. The thing is, I have so many candy, like, I have so many Pokemon that I'm splitting candy between for Pikachu candy that I don't think it'll ever really be used by me for a sleeper purpose, because getting it to level 50 is a pretty hefty investment, and at that point, am I ever getting the Dream Shards back from running it that I spent to invest it and level it up? Like, you gotta just consider, okay, maybe I run it, even if I run it every single weekend, every single Sunday night, 52 nights a year, 6% bonus, spread across 52 nights a year for every Sunday. That still probably doesn't add up to the cost. Like, it could. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, that was the end of that recording. Now my morning session. Let's see. Is it muted? No, it's not. Okay, let's go. This is my other session. This is what I saw after the morning, which was a full sleep. So, let's see what's going on. 76%. Which is the rest of the difference between the 100 that it was. Or the 24 made plus the 76 makes the 100. I finally got the stick to your bedtime 5 times reward, which is a good thing because I didn't think I thought I might actually miss it. My sleep schedule's been so jacked up lately because well, simply put, I started a new job, but they don't have me on the schedule that I was hired for. I was hired for the night shift, which is much more my drift. Much better for me as a night owl. I'm a very much so a night owl. And, well, I was hired for the night shift. That's good. It's very good. But right now, they're doing training. I have to be the one the trainers are there, so until I'm done being trained, I am stuck going to the 8 to 4:30 shift. So, which isn't bad for most people, but it's messing up my sleep schedule. And once I'm off of it, I should have much more consistent bedtime making it on bedtime more often. But this week was a bit rough. Sometimes I had to go to bed earlier to make sure I could get up in time. So, and a few other things popped up. I also had some family around. So, I'm actually probably going to miss it again tonight. It's currently 12:07. I have my bedtime in the game set to midnight. Because usually I put my phone down at 10:30, and I like to give myself that extra clearance, because oftentimes I stay up later more often than I go to bed earlier. So, I figure, yeah, or oftentimes I'll just put my phone to bed earlier. So I can always just put my phone to bed earlier, it's no big deal. So, collected all that stuff up, made that meal, made the extra tea. Extra 76 points. It's a lot to go over with these things. But yeah. Claimed the 15 diamonds, because why not? So I had to just use a few more candies to get a few more diamonds, and why not? So, 130 some berries. Man, my team is just stupid. I love my team. This team for Old Gold Power Plant is insane. Yeah, let's take a look at this sleep session. What did I see? What did I catch? I don't even remember at this point. This was this morning. We're talking... Gee, I woke up at like 8? That's like 16 hours ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 styles, 8 Pokemon. I made it, even with split sleep sessions on the Old Gold Power Plant. I feel good about this team. They can consistently do well. A Top Belly Wooper, new style. But I saw Aggron again, which I think is pretty dope. Jolteon, which is a pretty good style. And then Meowscarada, also a new sleep style, which I kind of forgot that I had it on the screen right after I was done looking at it. So, after clicking the new sleep style on the Wooper, well, first off, 4-star. Now I have the entire Quagsire line sleep styles all found. The only one that I was missing was the 4-star Wooper, actually. So, got all 4 Quagsire, all 4 Wooper now. Then I checked out all the other ones, because typically I do that last, in case there are any duplicates that are new. So, if there's 2 1-stars that I haven't seen yet. Particularly with like Drifloon, that was a common thing for a lot of people. Tap the first one, get it, so then it's just included in the auto view. But I forgot that I still had a Meowscarada. So, check that out. New sleep style, always welcome. I'm at like 470 something now, which is just absurd given that the last sleep style dex goal was only 390. I'm like 80 beyond that now. So, even if they were to release a new sleep style dex goal today, I would probably already be there. So, I'm happy with that. But yeah, caught the Aaron, Grape Biscuit. Well, did I catch it? I fed it a Grape Biscuit. I don't remember if I caught it or not. Did I catch it? I think I did, because yeah, I did. I guess I'm going to spoil that here in a minute, because you didn't get to see. I bought a Poke Biscuit. Gave it to the Aaron. And a crit. That's why I never buy, like, there it was missing 2 points. I didn't buy 2 Poke Biscuits, because if I bought 2 Poke Biscuits, then what if it got all full and then I couldn't feed that second biscuit? I'd eventually use it, sure. But I'm at the point where I'm using the more expensive biscuits this month, so I'd rather buy less of them if I don't have to buy them. But I made some serious strides in Pokemon research. Thank you, Neroli. It's always great hearing your words. Sent the Aggron again, because I think Aggron's a cooler sleep style than even the 3-star Aaron. Even the game seems to think so, because it gives you more candy for it. So, now how many sleep shards in this one? 20k. Almost 21k. Actually, over 21k. I will take it. I need every bit that I can get. Docile nature, that's neutral. Now, yeah, I remember this Aaron now. Bean sausage coffee coffee. It's good. It's got ingredient finding S and a helping bonus. I can sub-skill seed that ingredient finding M. It's got a bit much inventory if for long-term investment, and way later on it has Help Speed M. Honestly, might be kind of what I'm looking for, but I don't know. I just don't need another coffee producer. Like, it's very coffee-focused. I love the Help Speed M. I love that it provides extra support to their whole team, but I don't see it as really that useful. Now, I remember the rest of this video. I basically just went in and leveled up one of my Pokemon just a little bit more. I also bought the daily gift. Nothing too significant. Diamonds. But let's get into today. I did level up one of my Pokemon just a little bit because I wanted to get that use X amount of candies mission done, which I did. I don't even remember what Pokemon it was that I leveled up, but let's first clear the team's inventories and stuff so they can get farming again. I can swap to the day team. Well, actually, I'm not even going to bother because, honestly, I'm probably going to be putting the phone right back to bed after this. Hey, one of my Raichu's leveled up. That's probably the one that's only level 36. It's probably level 37 now. I cannot wait till that guy is level 75, because, my gosh, when he reaches level 75, he'll be the creme of the crop. One of the best team members I'll have at that point. Help Speed M, Speed of Help Up Nature, Berry Finding S. Actually, not even just Berry Finding, not just Help Speed Up Nature, Adamant Nature, which is the best nature for berry specialists in most circumstances. Might be some exceptions. Ah, Drifloon Befriending Bundle. Yes, I'm going to spend 1,500 diamonds on one of the worst skill specialists in the game, in my mind. And I'll get into that after we're done with the thing, because I do kind of want to rant a little bit about it, maybe. I'll collect the sleep points in case we need to buy so many biscuits. However, I think we have enough sleep points right now that shouldn't be a problem. Anyway. Oh, darn it, I forgot to press and hold. Whoa, it didn't matter. Okay. Let's review the sleep session. Now, this one is just a nap. Shouldn't be too big of one. Hour 37. 19. All slumbering. This is what I expected that other one to be. And I'll take slumbering. Actually, it's probably what I want the most right now, because I've already got my grubbin situation figured out. I've already got my Shinx situation figured out, so if I'm targeting the Aaron, then this is definitely the best way to go. 6 spawns for a 19 sleep score. Not bad at all. I'm currently at Master 10, so I don't even know what I have a chance of seeing, but I don't think anything is going to be new. Pichu, Pikachu, Quaxley, Eevee, Luxio. I mean, I guess it's possible because of the event, but I don't even know what I want here. And I have to use my daily biscuit, so probably the Pichu. I don't really care about Luxio. I don't really care about Quaxley or Wooper, because I already have good ones of those for pretty much every purpose I could desire. So, the only thing really here that I'm interested in catching is probably the Pichu, in case I happen to get a really, really strong one. Again, granted, that would kind of suck, because I'd have to shift around what my investments are, but hey, if it's good enough, I don't care. Raichu is one of the strongest Pokemon in this game, and the fact that it just got an island made it so much stronger. Alrighty. Oh, great, the Wooper's hungry. Okay, first off, I do want to log that I saw the 2-star on the Luxio. Okay. That is logged. Okay. I mean, Eevee's also... Thing is, I don't have any evolutions I'm really interested in. I honestly have things that can do all of their jobs better than what most Eevees are going to be able to do. I've got a good Heracross, interestingly. I've got a good Flareon already. So yeah, I don't need Vaporeon, Flareon, Glaceon. Jolteon, Umbreon, and Leafeon are all bottom tiers, so... Pichu. Okay. I do need to get 2 Pokebiscuits at the higher price. I tried everything in my power to save myself from having to use those Pokemon. I don't want to have to pay for the more expensive ones all that much. Now, I don't care about the Pichu so much that I'm going to spend a Great Biscuit on it, or even just regular biscuits outside of, like... I'm not going to spend regular biscuits on it when it has 5 still. Let's see, Wooper. Mega hit! I guess I'm catching a Wooper today. That's why I almost always throw a Poke Biscuit at hungry Pokemon, even if it's something that I might not be interested in. You might get that maximum value out of the Poke Biscuit, so... Not really interested in the rest of the things here. Thank you, Neroli, for telling me I made some serious strides. Luxio. It's new. It's still probably new enough, and people probably are... Those that are on my friends list don't have that much Luxray candy yet, so... I'm happy to send it. Maybe the Pikachu is the better play, but... 7,000-ish Dream Shards, I will take that. I need every bit I can get, as I was saying earlier. Pichu, let's see. Rash Nature. Ingredients up, main skill chance down. So I don't really care about nature. No berry fighting S at level 10. Apple Ginger's a pretty good combo. Energy recovery bonus, trash. Skill level trash, inventory trash, trash. Okay, this guy will be going straight to the bin. No value there. Wooper. Lonely. That is speed up, energy down. I really like that on a Wooper. Because it's got self-recharge, which is good. Mushroom, potato, mushroom. Hey! Any of those that have been following me for quite a amount of time would know that I actually really like this ingredient spread. I like it for Spore Mushroom Curry, because if they're strong, then they can a Wooper at level 60 can solo that meal. It's not a super powerful meal, but only taking 1 team slot, I think, is tremendously strong. So if it's got good sub-skills, maybe. Extra help speed, inventory, skill trigger, eventually ingredient finding. I don't really care about the skill trigger. But the help speed is nice, the inventory is nice. Especially for a very help speed focused skill or ingredient specialist. I'll take the inventory on it any day. I don't know if it's actually going to be worthwhile, true investment. Especially since it's kind of a niche that's almost kind of getting power crept. I still think there's a lot of power in it. But let's see. If I plug and chug this guy through the calculator, he's got the water berry, so we'll sort by that. We'll put him in as a Wooper. Or not a Wooper, Quagsire. Let's check him out at level 60. Obviously, he had main skill seed. I don't think I'd bother too much with the inventory as a skill seed, but skill trigger S, I wouldn't bother skill seeding that either. And he's got that speed up, energy down. Let's see, what does he make? 40-26. It needs 42-27. Ugh. Just barely shy. I mean, I guess if I'm getting him that high, he'd probably have, like, what? 2 ribbons worth? Which that does almost get him there. I don't know if I change this inventory up to... I really don't want to have to do that. Then he does barely cross that threshold, so... Man, I just love that this combo works kind of the way it does there. But I'll star him. Never hurts to hold something in the box that may be useful one day. I just think I've got stronger options. So he may never see the light of day. He may just sit in the box. But yeah. Now, I'm kind of done with this. This is going to be our ending spot for the week, basically. I plan on putting my phone to sleep right after this video's over. In fact, you know what? Maybe I'll just do it right now. Because why not? Then I actually will make my bedtime today. It's 12:21, so you guys actually get to see me put my phone to sleep. Okay. Given that I'm doing that, here I'll bring up the old gold power plant music so you guys still have something to listen to. While I'm doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Drifloon. Now, I think that a lot of people that are currently saying that the Drifloon is useful, or making any kind of statements that the Drifloon is useful, are just in the state of copium, honestly. If you make the comparison and plug and chug the numbers through, it just doesn't really compete with the current meta for skill specialists that have this skill. It just doesn't really compete with the current options out there. And the comparison that I've made a couple times is the Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo, as of right now, is known as one of the worst Pokemon in this game. If you look at a lot of tier lists, a lot of people will put Sudowoodo pretty far down the tier list, just because it is horrendously slow. And that's kind of its claim to fame, is being so slow that even though it's got a high skill trigger rate and it can produce about the same amount of skill triggers as Ampharos and Golduck, like strength off of its skill triggers, roughly, it lacks so much in berries and ingredients because of how stupidly low its frequency is that it just can't overcome that. So if we were to compare the Sudowoodo to the Drifloon, now granted, as of right now, there's a little asterisk here, little disclaimer. These numbers are preliminary. They're still doing research to figure out the exact value of these numbers, or how much Drifloon's skill is valued at. But it's a good initial estimate. And remember, I'm comparing it to one of the worst Pokemon in the game. So, making this comparison, the Sudowoodo's just better. Even after we take into account the fact that Drifloon is way, way faster. The Sudowoodo is better. Now, the Drifloon may be better if it's got Berry Finding S, because it's got better speed to take advantage of Berry Finding S. You really don't want that on the Sudowoodo, but it's a skill specialist. That's not the skills you should be looking for. If anything, you should be looking for Skill Trigger M, Help Speed M, which, if anything, that actually widens the gap between them, because the Sudowoodo taking more advantage of Skill Trigger, it gets more out of its Skill Trigger rate, so boosting its skills, both of their skills equally amount, since the Drifloon's producing more berries and more ingredients, boosting their skills an equal amount on both Pokemon is actually going to buff the Sudowoodo more. So, and Sudowoodo is like the worst charge strength Pokemon in this game. And something else really about the Drifloon is, okay, so A, it's worse than other options. If I was to plug in a Golduck and an Ampharos with the same sort of stats, level 60, Help Speed M, main skill chance, they're just going to be better in every circumstance. Oh, I forgot to... They're just always going to be the best options. So, yeah, if you catch a really good Drifloon, don't, like, burn it, because honestly, it's not that much farther behind. Sub-skills in nature are going to make a bigger difference than what this species difference is ever going to make. But it's still, there's something to be said about should it even bother catching it to begin with. Biscuits are very valuable in this game, and skill seeds are very valuable in this game, so you really don't want to be having to put your skill seeds into something that is a worse option if you can instead be catching those better options and put less skill seeds into it, because that's also a thing where it loses out in comparison to the Ampharos, at least. The Ampharos gets one more free level up, which the Drifloon, so it makes it more expensive. But something that I don't see a lot of players talking about with the Drifloon is that it is just wildly inconsistent, and it is the heaviest commitment of any Pokemon in this game. You have to commit to running the Drifloon, because let's say you get a bunch of stockpiles built up, and then you want to swap it off the team because you need more ingredients of a certain type that day. You can't swap it, because if you do, you lose all the stockpiles and have wasted a ton of energy, a ton of Snorlax strength. It is a commitment to run. And I feel like for that commitment, you should be rewarded with at least equal power, which it doesn't have compared to these other guys. So, it's more of a cost in both skill seeds and in commitment. And it's not even as good on average. A few other interesting things about it. Inconsistency. if you're really counting on a skill specialist for a high value week, a really high powerful week, let's say it's an event week, and you want to try and reach your new highest yet. And then the Drifloon just decides to spit up every single proc. Or, even worse, stockpile 1, spit up 1, stockpile 1, spit up 1. You're getting screwed by RNG. And you need that consistency. Every time the Ampharos procs, you know it's going to give you the same proc. The Gold Duck, yeah, it's got a variable proc value as well, but it's got less RNG to it, and it procs so many times that the RNG nature of it basically just gets completely diluted by the fact that you're doing so many trials that it's going to see the full... It's going to pretty much give you its average. Pseudo-Udo, also the same thing as Ampharos, it's a fixed value. With this, however, there's so much more RNG that goes into it, because you're talking about you need the right things to line up across multiple days. Multiple days of the Drifblim proccing its skill. So, I just don't think that it's worth it. Because you want to be able to know you're reliably going to make where you need to make it on your target weeks. So, I don't know. I just think that the Drifblim is a bit overrated right now. I'm still going to be holding on to mine because I caught a really good roll on it. And something else very interesting, a lot of players are like, oh, you can stockpile and then drop it on the next week. If you watched Ivan Brown's video about the Drifblim, he made an interesting point that, like, if you don't need more strength at the end of the week, maybe run a Drifloon for a few days. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll roll the lottery. Get like 8 stockpiles before it finally spits up. And then you can spit it up. You can use it on Monday to give a spit up. And do that. So that way you can carry over a lot of extra strength into the next week because you got lucky with the gambling roll. If you use it that way, I think that's kind of neat. And that's something that will never be problematic. But a lot of players' point with the Drifblim is that right now there is an exploit, per se, where if you go into airplane mode with your phone and tap on the Drifblim when it's collected a bunch of things, then you can trigger the proc without actually sending the signal to the servers that the proc has been triggered. So you can view if it has triggered a proc or not, and you can see what type of proc it is. So if you see spit up, when you don't want it to say spit up, then you can just swap some members of your teams to clear its inventory of skill procs. And then wait for it to get stockpile. Basically burning that skill proc for the sake of getting what you actually want, which is another stockpile. Because this thing is only optimal if you are getting 10 stockpiles and then a spit up. And you know what? If you do that, you're effectively taking all the RNG out of it and making it run at the optimal level, which... After doing that, if you do that consistently all the time, then you know what? This guy is really worth it to run. So if you run the math, it's somewhere from like 15% better, 15 to 20% better than the Ampharos, which is 15 to 20% is insane. That's the value of a skill trigger M basically, because that's right at 18. So by that theory, then the Drifblim would just... Like, this Drifblim would be better than this Ampharos, which, usually speaking, we say sub-skills, like Species Clause. In most cases, a Pokemon, like, 2 Pokemon that do the same exact job, but across different species, yes, one will be worse than the other, but sub-skills in nature are going to make such a bigger impact that it effectively doesn't matter in 99% of circumstances. If you are forcing only level 10 stockpile procs, the math works out that the Drifblim does produce more. My problem with this, though, is it relies on you using an exploit that's clearly unintentional to force the Drifblim into the best possible RNG. You're basically RNG manipulating it. And that doesn't feel like the dev's intent with this skill. And that feels like it is genuinely broken. And given that it is genuinely broken, I think it is bound to be patched. Which, a lot of people's point about the Drifloon, typically speaking, is that you can use it to carry strength into the next week. Now, like I said, Iron Brown talked about it in a gambling sense. You can gamble to get extra strength at the start of the next week. I like that idea. That is a use case that I did not consider. A lot of people are making the point that you can just force it to get 10 stockpile procs, and then right away at the start of the next week, just drop the max tier, boom, 82,000 strength. If you can consistently do that, that's good, but I think it is bound to be patched, because otherwise it is just so much better than all these other options in, like, literally every way, other than the fact that it's more of a commitment. Atop that, I think the Drifloon really struggles for just what sub-skills it wants. Like, so skill trigger helps beat M. Hands down the best combination for skill triggers in the game. But even with 2,000 hours slept with it, you can see that after 6 hours and 11 minutes, the level 61 is going to fill the inventory, even after evolution and everything. So if you're sleeping with it, you're going to be losing on some probability of getting those skill procs, which is really, really what you want. So, like, more so than other skill specialists, the Drifloon also wants some level of inventory. So, maybe inventory L, maybe you sub-skill seed it. And then, like, oh, but it's got help speed M, and it's one of the faster ones in the game, too. So, you know, maybe we should also, you know, give it berry finding. But then that, like, detracts from the inventory and goes back on that problem, so it doesn't... Like, I guess, in this exact circumstance, the inventory L and the max tier ribbon, it can last all the way through the night, even with berry finding S. But who's going to be catching a Pokemon with this exact spread? And also, that's 4 sub-skills. You're not seeing that till level 75. So, I mean, they're just... It wants too much. It's too good. It's kind of trying to be a jack of all trades, almost, except for ingredients. It really doesn't care about ingredients. It's actually one of the worst ingredient finders in the game, with, like, 12.8% ingredient proc rate, which is... Like, I heard it's like the 3rd lowest in the game currently. So, this guy really doesn't care about ingredients. But, like, it's trying too hard to be decent at berries while also being good at skills. Which means it's just spread too thin. But it's also trying to, like, it needs to last through the night. So it needs that inventory. I don't know. I think it's too much of a commitment. I think it's too inconsistent. I think it's too expensive. Being a 2-stage Pokemon, and it costs an extra skill seed. And I think it's too difficult to catch the perfect one for most people. And I really wouldn't recommend catching it. Maybe if it's hungry, throw a biscuit at it. Because you know what? It is okay. But if you wouldn't catch a Sudowoodo, then I wouldn't catch a Drifloon. Because they're both 2-stage charge strength Pokemon. And the Sudowoodo is going to have to offer way more inconsistency, arguably better inventory space, even though the inventory space is worse. Because of his slower speed, it takes longer to fill that inventory. So, effectively better inventory space. A better, more consistent skill. Like, the other options just have so much less downsides that I don't think it's worth any thought. If you catch a good one, though, it can be good, because sub-skills in nature are powerful in this game. If this is the best Sudowoodo you caught is just no sub-skills, yeah, obviously, the Drifloon's better. But I question why you're hunting it to begin with. Because the math just isn't there. Unless they never patch that bug. Or that exploit. If they never patch that exploit, then sue me, I'm wrong. This thing is actually busted if they never patch that exploit. But I think it's an inevitability. So, take that as you wish. I wish it was better. Maybe it's a hot take saying that it's not the best, but I don't know, guys. The math just isn't there. And I like to rely on the numbers. And I like consistency as well. I like to know that I'm going to reach Master 20. I like to know that I'm going to reach the point where I can see a 3-star Raikou. I plan my teams around knowing things, and if I have something that's too RNG, I don't know. That would hurt the way that I play the game. So, anyway, I hope you learned something a little bit. I hope you've kind of seen a bit of my thoughts on the thing. Because I've seen a lot of different takes on the Drifloon. I've watched like 4 different content creators' videos. I've talked with a lot of people in the Discords. And everyone seems to have different thoughts about this thing. Some people are like, it's amazing! Other people are like, eh. I definitely, I think, have the most negative view on it of anyone that I've seen. Because I just don't think it's worth any kind of investment, but I've seen a very wide range of opinions on this Pokemon, and I think that's just because of how convoluted its skill is. I ultimately think that it is a gimmick that you are spending, you are giving into the cost of better options for the sake of being able to gamble. It is fun to gamble. In fact, if you are the type of person that likes to gamble and likes to take risks, it's great. Because it's going to be the most fun Pokemon for you. And ultimately, the goal of the game is to have fun. So if gambling is how you have fun, then gamble away. And I guess that's my advice for it. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.